Okay, we're going to do a grammar topic that you've actually learned already, and that is prenominal adjectives. I introduced them last unit, and you're going to learn them and be quizzed on them now. You would have learned them in the junior high, but because of COVID, things happen. So prenominal adjectives, pre is Latin for before, and nominal refers to nouns. D'accord? So they're adjectives that go before the noun. You know in French that adjectives don't. They don't go before the noun. So if you want to say something like, that's a creative idea, you have to say, that's an idea creative, right? So c'est une idée créative. And that sounds totally normal in French, even though it sounds a little bizarre in English when you say it. Now, you may have noticed while doing work packets or other things that there are adjectives that go before the noun. For example, good. So if I want to say, that's a good idea, I'm going to say, c'est une bonne idée. So the vast majority of adjectives appear after the noun, and that's still something you'll want to think about when you're speaking in French and writing compositions in French, is that you want to say, ah oui, c'est une idée créative. Now, just as a linguistic side to this, I like that French has the adjectives come second, because think about when you're describing something, if your brain pulls up the image of what it is and modifies it after, you have a better idea what you're talking about. So saying, for example, in French, that is a monster, purple and giant with horns, right? That's how a French person would say it. I said it with a French accent, but regardless, you know that it's a monster first. Whereas in English, when we say it's a giant, purple, horned, like, what am I going to say? Is it a dog? Is it a baby? It's like you don't know until we say it. So we pull up these abstract concepts in English of horned, purple, whatever else I said. Yeah. So there is, however, a small list of adjectives that only appear before the noun. And I introduced you to the rhyme already. It goes the same rhythm of hickory dickory dock, and that is, and make sure you pause it and say it a few times to get it in your ear, because you will have to have these memorized. So it's au petit grand gros, premier joli beau, autre long mauvais bon jeune vieux nouveau. D'accord? I'll say it a few more times, but we looked at some of these, and you know what most of these mean. A reminder that gros is fat. D'accord? But I think you know most of these. So, O was a new one. O means high. D'accord? Autre might be a new one as well. Autre means other. Long means long. And then I think you know all these. Vieux, as a reminder, is old. So, premier means first. And actually, all ordinals, that's words that help you order things, like deuxième, meaning second, troisième, meaning third, quatrième, meaning fourth, they all fall into the same category. D'accord? Just like I taught you last unit that meilleur and pire also count as prenominal adjectives, even though they're not in the rhyme, because they're just forms of bon and mauvais. Likewise, any ordinal also counts. D'accord? So let's say this again. So you've got au petit, grand, gros, premier joli beau, autre long, mauvais bon, jeune vieux nouveau. Au petit, grand, gros, premier joli beau, autre long, mauvais bon, jeune vieux nouveau. Au petit, grand, gros, premier joli beau, autre long, mauvais bon, jeune vieux nouveau. And so what I'll do in class is I'll ask you to actually list these off for me. So make sure you have this memorized. Au petit, grand, gros, premier joli beau, autre long, mauvais bon, jeune vieux nouveau. Okay. Now, we do have to talk about adjective agreement with this, because there are a few adjectives that are irregular among these. So, fortunately, some of them you learned in the junior high, or you've at least seen before. I'm not sure if you've seen this one before, but long in the feminine, and this is really the only thing that's bizarre here, is that it adds a U, d'accord? Because if you add just an E, it's going to be longe, and it's not. It's longue, in the feminine. So, un long chemin, a long path, une longue route, a long drive. D'accord? Second one is gros, becomes grosse in the feminine. And so you've got, it's pronounced a little differently. So you've got gros and grosse. So une grosse pomme, a big fat apple. You can also use gros to mean like a big fat, the way we'd say, oh, that's a big fat apple. D'accord? All right. Then premier becomes première, and this one I know you've seen before. D'accord? That ER becomes ERE with an accent grave. D'accord? So these three all just have special feminine forms. One where you add a U, one where you double the consonant, and one where you add an accent. So all three of them have completely different things going on. So you just have to memorize each one. Long is long, it's not too hard. Gros is gros, not too hard because it's just like bon and bonne, right? You're doubling. And then premier is première in the feminine. C'est bon? All right, there's three more that are particularly difficult. So remember, actually, let me just tell you first. So beau, you know to add an X. And I don't think that's surprising to you. You've done something like that before in the plural. So in the masculine, you'll add an X. You may just want to highlight that somehow, underline it. Belle is the feminine form, and so it's just completely different. You just have to memorize beau becomes belle. D'accord? Beau garçon, a handsome boy. Une belle fille, a beautiful girl. And you add an S for that one in the plural, and that's not surprising either. So before a U, you add an X. If there's no U, you're going to add an S. That's easy. What's weird is that you have an extra form here, BEL. And when do you use that? Well, that's going to be used in front of a vowel. So if you want to say, that's a beautiful man, or that's a handsome man, you would say, c'est un bel homme. Why, though? Why not beau? Because it begins with a vowel sound. C'est un bel homme. And since it begins with a vowel sound, they just have, for beau, a special form of it. So if I want to say, that's a good-looking computer, c'est un bel ordinateur. Again, starting with a vowel sound, you're going to change the form that you use and use bel instead. It's the same pattern as ce, cet, and, well, this has two different plural forms, but for the singular ones, at least, it's the same pattern, same idea. If it's feminine, you definitely use belle. If it's masculine, you're going to choose between beau and belle with one L. Cool. Now, what's nice is that these other two behave the exact same way. I'm actually going to look at nouveau first because nouveau is completely 100% analogous, right? It ends in EAU, EAUX. It ends in ELLE. It ends in ELLES. And then you've got nouvelle. So if I want to say this is a new computer, I'd say c'est un nouvel ordinateur. D'accord? I don't know what I just did. I wanted to write nouvelle right here. Now, the one that's a little bit weirder, and I want you to pay attention to the pronunciation of it, is vieux. D'accord? Vieux. Now, notice it already ends in an X, just by default. That's what the word is. So when you go to make the plural form, it stays just an X. It's just that. Sorry, my light was turning off. I'm trying to get it. The feminine form, now it ends in ILLE, so please do not say, don't pronounce an L. I'm not going to even say it. I don't want to put it in your ear because it's wrong. It's pronounced like this. Try it, vieille. D'accord? Vieille. Just like famille and bouteille, you've got vieille. D'accord? A little Y sound at the end. Where you're tempted to put an L, vieille. D'accord? That means that this masculine form is going to be pronounced the same way, vieille. D'accord? So if you want to say that's an old computer, c'est un vieil ordinateur. If you want to say it's an old man, whereas you would say, that's my old grandfather, c'est mon vieux grand-père, you would say, c'est un vieil homme. D'accord? So that's just a little difficulty there. Now, let's look at what an activity is going to look like for your quiz. Number one. All right, write the noun phrase. So that's your article, noun, and adjective on the blank. Make sure that the word order is correct and the adjective agrees in gender and number. I may on the quiz make it agree. No, I'm not going to because you have to know beau, belle, nouveau, nouvelle, and vieux and vieille. So you will have to pay attention to two things: word order and adjective agreement. So doing number one, you see, tu as réussi, you won at this extreme level. Now we've got ce niveau, so we can use those two words, and we can use the word extrême. We've just got to make sure the word extrême agrees in the, what is it, masculine, feminine, it's masculine, and it's singular. So where am I going to put the word extrême? Well, was it in our rhyme? Au petit, grand, gros, premier, joli, beau, autre long, mauvais, bon, jeune, vieux, nouveau. No, it's not. So is it going to go before the noun? No, it's not. It'll go after. Tu as réussi à ce niveau extrême. You succeeded at this level extreme, is what they would say in French. C'est bon? All right. So let's look at a second one. Oh, it looks like I do. Oh, no, never mind. Oh yeah, no, I do two that are about the same meaning in a row. So you'll notice that you could also say you won at this high level. So it's a different sentence though. J'ai reçu mon diplôme à blank. I received my diploma at a high level of skill. We want to say, using word O now, high level instead of extreme level. So is O in our rhyme? Yeah, it's the first one. Yeah. So it's going to go before the noun. Un haut niveau. D'accord? J'ai reçu mon diplôme à un haut niveau de compétence. D'accord? That's what it is. Now, unfortunately, that one did not have any agreement. So let me do at least one with agreement that you'll have to pay attention to. Let's do. What a pretty photo. All right, so quel is used here as your article, or determinant rather. And you got photo and joli. Now, does joli go first? Let's write quel photo. And does joli go before or after the noun? Au petit, grand, gros, premier, joli, beau. So joli is right there. Now, notice that quelle photo is feminine. Okay, so we're going to make this feminine as well. Quelle jolie photo. There you go. That's what you're doing. Let me know if you have any questions, and you'll be able to check your answers online. Au revoir.